Kyran Durnin had disappeared from his home 7 weeks ago. Kyran was last seen in Drogheda in County Louth on the 30th of August, and he is presumed to be deceased.
Thank you for watching Why I Killed You TV. Please make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe to this particular YouTube channel and this particular video. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to be talking about two cases, and one case we're not going to talk about for a long period of time. It's the Michael Gaine case, and we're not going to talk about it for a long period of time, like I said before, because it's pretty much new. It's in the news. It's pretty much current. A lot of people know about it, but I'm going to get you guys up to speed just in case you don't know about it. A case we're going to talk about in great detail is the Kyran Durnin case, and the main reason why we're talking about that, it's been a while since anybody talked about it. The main reason why we're going to talk about both cases is because a lot of people are believing that the Irish police have really screwed up on both cases. So sit back and let's talk about both of them, and leave a comment in the description and tell me what you think. So I'm going to get you up to speed with the Michael Gaine case. Like I said, we're going to talk about that briefly, but we're going to more or less talk about the Kyran Durnin case more than the Michael Gaine case, but I want to get you up to speed. March the 21st, 2025, Michael Gaine didn't come home that night, so his wife called the police to report him missing. His brother-in-law, who is a police officer in Kenmore, officially filed the missing person report that day. April the 29th, 2025, after searching for 5 weeks and finding nothing, the police changed the case from a missing person case to a murder investigation. This gave them more power to collect evidence and question people.
Wife and sister of Kenmare farmer Michael Gaine have appealed publicly for information about his disappearance for the first time since he went missing 6 weeks ago. They've said their family is devastated and they want him back home. Their intervention comes as Gardaí confirmed the inquiry has been reclassified as a homicide investigation.
In Kenmare and County Kerry, preparations are underway for another tourist season. But even under the blue skies, the mood locally has darkened.
It's a devastating blow for the area. I suppose our thoughts are with Mike himself, I suppose, and his wife and his two sisters and their families. You know, with the past 6 weeks, they've gone through a torturous period, and now they have to deal with this. It's totally unimaginable.
This afternoon, Mike Gaine's wife Janice and his sister Noreen made their first public interventions since he disappeared 6 weeks ago, appealing for support for the Garda investigation.
I'd just like to say something about Michael, that he was my best friend, my husband. This whole thing has been devastating, and he loved his home, he loved his farm, he loved farming, he loved his animals, he loved rallying, he had lots of friends, he was a very popular guy, and his disappearance is totally out of character.
On May the 16th, 2025, human remains turned up on Michael's farm when a slurry spreader got stuck in one of the tanks. Forensic teams confirmed the remains were that of Michael Gaine, so they sealed off the entire farmyard and nearby fields as a crime scene. On May the 18th, 2025, the police arrested Michael Kelly, a former U.S. soldier who had worked for Michael for about 3 years, and now he was under suspicion of murder. They held him overnight but released him the next day because they didn't have enough evidence. May the 19th, 2025, Michael Kelly was officially released when police decided there was no clear proof linking him to Michael's disappearance or death. So let's talk about how the police might have messed up on this particular case. They waited too long to check out the slurry tanks. For the first couple of weeks, the police treated Michael's case like a normal missing person report, and they didn't immediately inspect the slurry tanks on his own property. By the time they sent in special teams, some of the slurry had already been spread on the field, which could have destroyed some important clues. Furthermore, they did not lock down the farmyard right away. Witnesses say that earlier search teams didn't fully close off Michael's farm and properly document the area. Farm machinery was kept running near spots where remains were later found, which might have damaged or moved evidence before crime scene photos were taken. Also, they waited too long to call it a murder case. Michael disappeared on March the 20th, but police only began treating it as a murder on April the 29th. Those extra weeks meant they missed a chance to collect skin cells, blood traces, or fibers before weather and animals disturbed the scene. Farm equipment may have ruined evidence. A local worker accidentally stirred some of the slurry after Michael vanished, mixing or destroying hidden remains before the police realized they needed to treat the tanks as a crime scene. This shows the police didn't clearly warn people to stay away or stop working there. And lastly, they released a key suspect too quickly. Michael Kelly was known to the police. He had worked closely with Michael Gaine, but they let him go within 24 hours. They said there wasn't enough evidence. The family had warned the police that Kelly and Michael didn't get along. So many felt that the police should have questioned him more before freeing him. So we talked about the case of Michael Gaine. Now let's talk about this case of this sweet little boy, Kyran Durnin. In late May of 2022, Kyran was only 6 years old. He was last seen at the St. Nicholas Monastery National School in Dundalk. He stopped going to class after that. In the summer of 2022, his mother, Dayla, told the school and others that Kyran was sick with COVID-19 and that they were going to move to Northern Ireland. Nobody found proof that he was in the hospital or started school in Northern Ireland. In September of 2022, all the way up until August of 2024, Kyran did not show up to any school or hospital. Despite being missing, nobody officially reported him as a missing child until August the 30th, 2024, more than 2 years after he was last seen. August the 30th, 2024, a family member finally told the police that Kyran and his mother were missing. This was the first time the police learned that he had not been seen since 2022. On October the 17th, 2024, police treated Kyran's case as a murder investigation because they received information suggesting he died sometime between mid-2022 and mid-2024. Late 2024 and early 2025, police searched properties linked to his family using cadaver dogs and digging tools, but they did not find him or any evidence of what happened to him. They also questioned people of interest, but nobody was charged. As of mid-2025, he was still considered missing and presumed dead. So let's talk about why the police might have dropped the ball in this case, just like they dropped the ball with the Michael Gaine case. They ignored his long absences. After Kyran stopped going to school in June of 2024, nobody in his school, nor did the police check on him. It wasn't until August the 30th, 2024, more than 2 years later, before anybody officially reported him missing. By then, it was too late to gather any evidence. They believed false stories without checking. Kyran's mother said that he was in the hospital with COVID-19 and that they had moved to Northern Ireland. The police accepted those claims without calling the hospital or schools in Northern Ireland to verify. They missed a big chance to find concrete proof that Kyran was not safe. They didn't talk to other agencies. Tulsa, which is the Irish Child Welfare Agency, had files destroyed by a cyber attack, so they couldn't help confirm Kyran's situation. Police also didn't coordinate properly with the schools nor social services. Because these groups didn't share information, misleading details from Kyran's mother went unchallenged. They waited too long to call it a murder investigation. Even though Kyra disappeared in May of 2022, the police only upgraded the case to a murder inquiry on October the 17th, 2024, after 2 years later. That delay meant any clues in or around his home could have been lost by the time they finally searched. They relied too much on public tips. Once the investigation started, police mostly asked the public to come forward with information instead of focusing directly on people connected to Kyran and his mother. By the time they searched their house, too much time had passed. There was no evidence useful. They lacked a clear, unified response. When a child skips school for a long period of time, Tulsa normally does a home visit, and the school should have reported the absence. In Kyran's case, the school didn't alert Tulsa right away. Tulsa had incomplete records, and police didn't file a missing child report in 2022 because nobody worked together. Kyran's disappearance skipped through the cracks. Even after they realized something was seriously wrong, police did not fully explain why they waited so long to share all the details of this search. Tulsa refused to release their internal review, and the police kept many findings private. This lack of openness damaged public trust and made it hard to understand what changes, if any, were going to be made to stop this from happening again. All these mistakes, ignoring Kyran's long absences, believing unverified claims, failing to share information, delaying the murder investigation, relying on others to tip them off, and not being transparent, allowing Kyran to stay missing without urgent help. As of mid-2025, his fate is still unknown, and no one has been charged. Kyran's mother was found in England in early October 2024. The police asked the UK police to check on Dayla's welfare. UK authorities then located her living in East Anglia. When questioning Dayla, they asked her why did she flee Ireland, and she said that she feared for her safety. She also claimed that she was never going to return back home. So there you have it. You have the case of Michael Gaine, and you have the case of Kyran Durnin. Do you think the police dropped the ball? Comment below.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.